Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about that how we can do integration hub ETL in our CMDB, and using this ETL, how quickly we can load the data in our CMDB CI table. Let's first see our Excel. So this is the Excel. You might be aware of that. Using this Excel, we are able to load the data in our past few sessions. What we did actually, we created a transform map, we created a data source, and then we had written some script to fulfill this requirement, and then we are able to insert the data into our CMDB CI table. Now, using the ETL, I'll show you that how quickly you can load the data in our system in CMDB CI in just a fraction of a second. And it is very user friendly. The ETL UI is very user friendly so that anyone can understand that or anyone can modify anytime. And not only the Excel sheet, you can load through the JSON using that. Any of this integration, you can load the data in our CMDB CI table. So let's see that how we can quickly do that thing. So first thing is that you have to load a plugin called Integration Hub ETL. So if you go to this plugins module, and if you search call Integration Hub ETL, you should be able to see one plugin which I have installed already. I'll just show you. If I click here, install section, and you can see the Integration Hub ETL, this plugin. It's a store application. You have to install this plugin to see these features. Once you install that, if you go to this left side and then type call ETL, you will be, as an admin, you should be able to see multiple modules in your left navigation. The module we are going to use called configuration, under the configuration called Integration Hub ETL. We are going to use this module, and using this Integration Hub ETL module, we are going to insert the data into our CMDB CI. So let's say that how we are going to do the data, how we are going to insert the data. So you can see that we have a Linux server, Linux SUSE, we have a Windows, Solaris, then we have a cloud. So there are multiple type of operating system is there. Based on this operating system, we are going to insert the data to our CMDB CI table. We'll classify the data, and then we will make sure that our IRE engine, identification and reconciliation engine, also works during this ETL integration. So first, what we'll do, we are going to create a new integration hub. So we are using the integration hub ETL, we are going to create a new configuration. We'll click this new button. You can see it's showing that new ETL transform map. Here we need to define that data source. We'll click this import data source, and here we need to select a data source. Okay, so we have to go back here. We have to create a data source first. So we'll type called data source. And under this, system import set, you can see that under this administration, we have a data source. We're going to create a new data source here. So let's say that I'm going to create a new data source here. Now, as you know, this is an Excel file. We are going to use this Excel file in our data source. So this is the data source here. We'll say that CMDB data import. Okay. So this is the one. Here you need to put that import set table label. So we'll say that CMDB data import. Now we need to put the table name. So it's automatically populate. We need to change the file type. So you can see that under this data source, we have a multiple type of data source like REST, custom, JDBC, OIDC, LDAP. So we are going to use the file system, and also file system have a multiple file system, SFTP, all this. We are going to use the attachment right now. So we'll change the format equal to Excels, and then we'll say that header should be the first row. We'll select the row 1. So sheet number 1, header should be the first row, and then sheet number 1. Define that, save that. So our data source is created. Now I had to attach this Excel sheet into our data source. We'll simply attach here. So as you can see that attachment is attached here. Now after that, we can click that load all records. You can see that by default, we have a transform and then robust transform. Both are actually empty right now. There is nothing associated with the transform map. We'll simply click load all records. What will be happen? all the data will be actually converted to input. It will be created on one import set and that will be attached there. So as you can see that a 21 data is inserted into the import sets. I can click this import set and I should be able to get a import set here called 10024. And then our data source name is called CMDB data import. We'll go back again here under this ETL. Here I need to put some name. I'll just follow the same name. So I'll put like application name is this one. Now, if we are doing this integration or if we are getting the data from the data source, either from attachment or something, from where we are getting, I'll select that. You can see there are multiple data discovery sources are available. We'll select that this is coming from a ServiceNow. So we'll select that ServiceNow. Now here I need to put the name. So we'll say that name this one. Now I have to select the data source. I'll select the data source. Let me see. Yeah, I should be able to select this data source. Once I said that, you can see by default this number 10024 is coming. In case is not coming, you can select this automatic pull from there. So it will automatically generate that. So I'll click the save button and then mark as a complete. So this is our first step we have created. Now let's go back to this prepare source data mapping. We'll go here. And you can see that these all are actually coming. So all this Excel data, whatever you have been seen there, it's converted to here in our format. We can see all these row are showing properly. So these are the row. You can see that 10 row is showing. Actually, you can go to the next, and you can change that. Now, this assign to, where should I put that? This assign to field should go to this under this Linux server. So what we are going to do that we are going to load the data into Linux server, Windows server, Solaris server, or the cloud. Okay, let's see that. So for that, what we are going to do that we are going to first going to put, like, let's say if I open any CMDB CI table. Now this assign to field, if you recall that this assign to field is not a direct field, it's a reference field. You cannot put like able tutor directly. You have to put like, you have, if I open any of this new form, assign to is referring to a cis user table, right? And it hold what? It hold the cis ID actually, right? As you know, that it's a reference field. So instead of this string field, we had to do change such a way that we can get the data from, in that cis-id instead of string. What we can do, we can just click here and then here you can see the new transform. You can click that new transform. Under this new transform, we can do multiple operation to correct this data. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll search call lookup. So you can see that lookup means that you can query to the particular table and find out that CI lookup operation that can search to the CI table, user lookup that can search to the user table. If I select that, you can see it is asking for the username, but we are using the name, not username. So we cannot use this any of this lookup. If you cannot do anything, you have a options called script. So you can actually write the script. Using the script, you can do multiple operation. So we'll select that script operation. So you can see that it automatically pre-populate with some script. We will click that call pop out script editor. And here you can see that this is the input where we can get this value called able tutor. What we have to do, we have to query to this our cis user table. So we'll say that where gr we are going to glide record that on which table, under cis user table, and then how we'll get that, we will get the call gr.get method. And what is the field name? We are going to use the name field. And what is the value we are going to pass that? We are going to pass that input. And if we get that, how we'll return that? We will return this way. We'll copy this one, paste here, and then we'll say that gr.sys_id.toString. So this way we'll return that. Okay. Now if you see that, what should be the output column? Output column should be u underscore assigned to then ID. Okay. So there will be a new column will be created after this assigned to, and that will have or that will hold the sys-id for this particular user. Let's apply that and see how it is behaving. So you can see that all this person have a sys-id. Okay. Now this discovery source I don't need. I will say that ignore this mapping. Okay. Now there are multiple things here. Now which are the table we are going to insert? We are going to insert under call Linux, Windows, Solaris, and then cloud. Okay. So let's see that their identification rule should be properly set. Let's see that Linux server. So we'll go to the CI class manager. I hope you guys are clear that what is the identification rule, what is the reconciliation rule. The first table we are going to use called Linux server. So we are going to load that into the Linux server. So we'll say that Linux server. Okay. In this Linux server, if I go to this identification rule, it's check first host name. Do we have the host name? Yes, we have the host name. Next, we have a call IP address, serial number. We have a IP address, and then we have a serial number. And then after that, we have a name. So this is clear. Name also is there. Now we have another table called Windows. Let's see that. If I search called Windows. Now here we have a host name, IP address, serial number, and name. All these are present. Now, after that, we have a Solaris. For the Solaris, I am going to not use the Solaris class. I am going to use directly that server class. There is a reason. I'll tell you that. In the server class, you can see that we have an identification rule, but this is holding call. Actually, we override that this identification rule by in our last class called hostname, IP address, serial number. I will delete that. Why I'm deleting this identification rule? There is a reason. So you can see that if I delete that, it is derived from the hardware table. Okay. And what is the standard procedure? It have, you can see the standard identifier and then lookup. What is the lookup? It is not a standard field. It will be lookup another table. What is the table? It will look up to the serial number table. Okay, so table name is called CMDB underscore serial number. There it will be stored. Then there is another lookup table called network adapter. This will be check the network adapter table. So there will be a multiple table that is going to be look up that. So that's the reason I'm going to use that instead of Solaris. I'm going to use that server table. So if that name is Solaris, it will store into the server table. Now last is the cloud. For this operating system is cloud. What we are going to do that we are going to use that a cloud host table. Okay, so there is a table called or class called cloud host. We are going to use that. Why? The reason is that if you see that we have a attribute identification reconciliation rule and then suggested relationship. But if I open this cloud host, there is one more tab called dependent relationship. So what is the dependent relationship? Dependent relationship means that the something you cannot directly create the cloud host until unless you created a relationship between logical data center. If you want to create a cloud host, you need to create a logical data center, then only we can actually insert into the cloud host. Okay, so this is the reason of dependent relationship. So in the dependent relationship, you cannot create direct ACI. You have to have a dependent relationship between this CI and this one. And in this case, this is the mandatory called logical data center. So if you want to create a cloud host, you need to use the logical data center. Okay, these are the table we are going to use that cloud host. We are going to use that Windows. We are going to use that Linux, and then we are going to use that server table. Let's do that.